Stingray, Stingray. Anything might happen in the next 20 minutes. But specifically, what will happen is I'm going to be showing you my haul from the Shepton Mallet Toy, Train and Collector Fair. Or as everybody calls it, the Shepton Mallet Toy Fair. This is the bits and bobs I picked up today. Hello everybody, what is going on? You're watching Car Boot Collectors. If you're new to the channel, dealer and collector of vintage toys, collectibles, junk, antiques, memorabilia, and I like to show you the bits and bobs I pick up. So here we go, let me show you what I found today. As I said already, Shepton Mallet Toy Fair, Bath West Showground. This is the last one for a little while. There's a couple more later on in the year. I think this is the last one for sort of, you know, the summertime though. I always find the summertime ones are a little bit weird. Like, I don't know, some people give them a miss because it's so hot out and people are doing other stuff. People are busy doing other stuff anyway. But there's always loads of people there. This event was sold out for vendors, as they have been for the last few, and there was a lot of good stuff. There were a lot of your usual things, your trains, your tractors, your model cars, your Hot Wheels, pop vinyls, all of that usual stuff. If you want to have a good look at the fair itself, because I'm just going to show you what I found, Toy Polloi will do a very nice walk around video showing you what was on offer there. I just do a one take, no effort haul video. That's what we do here. But if you want to see the show, go and check out Toy Polloi. I'm sure everyone watches him anyway. So yeah, let's get on in and show you what I found. I've got some good bits today. A lot of nice bargains. I didn't get anything that was like, I didn't spend a whole load of money. I bought one thing that was quite expensive and everything else was fairly inexpensive. So I was quite happy really. So yeah, a couple of sellers there that just had some nice bargain stuff, and I bought little bundles of bits, and I come away very happy. So yeah, I think I'm going to start off with the expensive find just because it's so big and I just want to get it out of the way because I'm worried I'm going to knock it or something. So, Car Boot Collector Classic, we've got a model plane. This is a really nice one. So we've got a Boeing 747. This is in house livery, so it's in like just a normal Boeing livery. It's not in an airline livery. This is a big boy. This is, I haven't measured it, haven't scaled it up. I guess this is 1/72 scale. This is big. This is like a 20, nearly 30 inch wingspan, 30 inch length nearly. Big old thing. Yeah, it's not in the best condition. It's not perfect, but it isn't too bad. There's bubbling to the paint. I didn't realise until after I bought it, until I got home actually, one of the stabilisers is a reproduction. This is a really poor effort as well. Should be this sort of composite resin. And it's yeah, quite a badly done wooden one, not very well done, but nonetheless it's a really big one. This wasn't mad expensive. These big scale ones do bring quite a lot of money, and I don't see them very often, rarely ever even. And this one wasn't badly priced. As I say, I paid a chunk of money for it. It wasn't cheap, but it was a fair price, so I picked up that one. He had a few more there, which I did not get. I was very tempted. I was sort of keen to be like, how much for all of them? But he didn't seem too keen to knock any money off, and I was like, if he did a deal for the 5, I probably would have nabbed all of them, but he was quite firm on the prices. I didn't want to spend all my money in one go, so it did come with a stand. This is a fairly generic stand. I don't think this is probably original to it. But it does come with a stand nonetheless. So not a bad example. It's got a bit of wear. It needs a bit of TLC. Some people would leave that as is completely. Some people would be fussy and go, oh, it needs to be repainted. But I think it's quite a nice one as is. And the price was right, so I nabbed it. So there's that. A nice plane to start off with. A nice Boeing 747. Like a 747. Next objet, we've got a little bundle. All these bits are from the same person, so I'm just going to chuck them out in one go, and we'll go through them quite quickly. A real random store. They had loads of really random things, just boxes to rummage through, piles of things, and as you can see from the pile of things I bought from them, it really was quite random. So we've got 5 Hysterex model kits. These are all this is a French company. They did lots of model kits, mostly of Napoleonic era soldiers. We've got 5 different sets there. These are all like, I haven't really looked at them to be fair, like individual figures. Some sets they did are like big limbers and sort of gun carriages and stuff. These are all just individual figures. They're nice, they're all new in the bag, vintage pieces. Don't tend to see historic stuff about too often, so they were worth picking up. A little bag with 2 Scooby-Doo figures. So we've got the clown, I can't remember their specific names, and the creature one. Clown should have a little balloon accessory, which is missing, unfortunately, but the clown's quite a sought after figure. I haven't seen him about for a long time, and I saw this one there, and as I said, the price was right, grabbed it. That was those. Very nice little Thunderbirds Firefly. This is really cool, and what I like most about this is it's missing the figures, it should have 2. I've just bought a lifetime collection of Gerry Anderson memorabilia. I'll have some videos up in the coming weeks. And there's absolutely boxes and boxes full of spare parts, and I've got the figures to make that complete instantly. So £1 for an incomplete Firefly, but I've got the bits to make it complete, so that's brilliant. It's in really nice shape as well, so that's the Firefly. These are early noughties. Really like the early noughties Gerry Anderson toys. There's some really cool stuff produced in that era, which I think at the time people overlooked, and as the years have gone on, it's become quite in demand. So there's a little Firefly. Should have little like micro sort of Mighty Max type figures in, not dissimilar to this one right here, which is from the same era. So this is a Stingray, and this is complete. It's got both projectiles. It's got the little Troy Tempest micro figure inside it. Really nice. So there's a Thunderbird toys of this era that are, well, as you've seen one already, but the big ones that have these little figures. This is like the same scale, same sort of series, and really nice condition, other than being a little discoloured. They always tend to be. You wind that up and the engine goes there. So yeah, really nice. That's not bad. I'd say I've just bought someone's lifetime collection of Anderson stuff. I've got a few of these in that lot coming. I think there's a sealed one and a couple of loose ones, but couldn't pass it up. I love these things. I don't ever see them out in the wild, so I know I've got some coming, but I needed it. And yeah, it's complete. It's really cool. I like those. Haven't had one of those in a long time. Little tiny Star Wars snap kit, the episode 1. This is the Trade Federation MTT. Completely unused, new one. So it was only £1. I didn't really want this, but the guy didn't have any change and he owed me £1, and I was like, can I just chuck that in? So we did that. Skill level 1, which is, to be honest, about the level of model kit making I can achieve competently. I don't even think it requires glue. Just a little tiny MTT. I like the episode 1 era stuff. It's very nostalgic for me, so I grabbed that. And then we picked up a Zoid. I don't see Zoids in my neck of the woods ever, really. And this is a really nice one. I haven't actually taken it out of the box so far. But this is the Zaton, the little sort of bear one. Box is really quite nice. I don't know if the toys are very good, because as I said, I didn't open it. It's sealed up, so I don't want to ruin the box. But yeah, I was watching a video by Mando number 5, and he picked up a couple of these recently, these Zoids in the sort of early purple red logo box. He's got quite a collection of them, and yeah, I saw that there and I thought, don't ever see them, it's not very expensive, I'll grab it, I'll put that in the pile. So we've got a Zoid. Hopefully it's all in there. If it isn't, the box is still so good, it's worth buying either way. So yeah, on to the next object. I'm just going to take a little drink to dampen my throat. Okay, next item. I go on about spare parts quite often. I say, oh, it's worth having that because, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. So picked up within the last couple of weeks this little Britain's RNLI boat. Needs a little clean, missing a figure. Literally the first stall I looked at had loads of trays full of spare bits. I found the other figure for it, so that's complete, that's ready to go. So that was a nice little find immediately. That's him now, that's complete, look, that's good. On the topic of Britain's, back in the day toys, go and check out his channel. He gifted me this. He was like, oh, you always show Britain stuff. I found this at the car boot, you can have it. So that's a Britain's Detail Night Horse. Always useful. I'll chuck it in my box with them. I like to make up the sets with them, and yeah, always handy to have spare ones. So that's a nice little horse there, Britain's Detail Horse from back in the day toys. Next item, I'm going to do this quickly. So this is like a little bit of a plug for another event. I mentioned in one of my last videos a local dealer to me, Oliver, who's got a shop in Sherborn, Pastime Toys. He deals in a lot of old school die-cast models, toy soldiers. He gave me this leaflet. He's putting on this event on June the 21st in Sherborn, near sort of near Yeovil, near Dorchester. And I said I'd show it in the video. So if you're in the local area, worth going and checking out. If you're interested in selling, it's got his details on there as well. There's hardly any toy fairs in the southwest, so you know it's worth supporting the events when they pop up. He said it's a sort of one-off, but if it's successful, he'll consider doing more of them. So yeah, a little toy fair going on in Sherborn. That's the flyer for it. Just a little plug. I said I'd give him a shout out with that because I've known him for absolutely years. And as I said in my last video, he sorted me out with a good deal on a vintage Admiral Akbar figure when I was about 3. So, yeah, there you go. Next little bundle, and this was a cool one. I went to the toy fair today with my friend Callum, as I always tend to, and I saw him rummaging in a box of figures. Some nice Star Wars figures, all in these little sandwich bags. And he was getting like a fat pile together, and I sort of peered over his shoulder, and it was a little sign with Star Wars figures, £2 each. You just don't see Star Wars figures, especially vintage ones, for £2 each anywhere, let alone at the toy fair. And this was a guy who was selling a lot of model railway stuff. He had like Hornby coaches, carriages, whatever, and he just happened to have this couple of boxes of sort of individually bagged up Star Wars figures. I say £2 each. So Callum is well into his vintage Star Wars. I've been collecting this stuff for years, so most of it I've already got. So, you know, there was bits I was pulling out that I was like, that's a bargain, Callum, grab that one. And once he'd sort of had first dibs, I picked out the ones that I wanted, and I grabbed a couple of ones that were bargains that he passed on. So all of these here were £2 each, and that was from the same guy but separate. So they're £2 each, if you can believe it. They're on sandwich bags. I haven't even looked at these yet. The ones Callum bought were really nice. He bought some nice figures for £2 each. He got a whole bunch of stormtroopers. He got a couple of these, and they were in really nice condition. He got like a Farm Boy Luke with a Darth Vader lightsaber, £2. You can't beat that as a steal. So Death Squad Commander, one of the first 12. So I haven't looked at these at all yet. Still in the bags. And if you can believe it, the deal did actually get a little bit better. So we'll elaborate on that after I've shown. We've got a Death Star droid there. He's very loose, but not bad chrome on that one, so I picked that one up. It's just one of those figures. People always ask quite a bit for it. So even in bad condition, it's worth picking up for a couple of quid. Just can't beat it. We did get a couple modern ones. That's I don't know if that's one of the Death Star droids or if that's the Tatooine Protocol droid, but one of the modern ones, I picked that up. Again, it's a modern Star Wars figure that was cheap, that isn't a Darth Maul or an Episode 1 figure. So, and Aura Singh, I think she's called, one of the bounty hunters. We've got a vintage Stormtrooper, he's pretty battered. An Ugnaught, which looks pretty good, and it has got its apron. This is the purple apron version. A little bit holy. But that's okay. It's okay for that price. And then we've got a Mattel Battlestar Galactica Cylon, missing all of his chrome, but yeah, come on, when you see these for £2, had to grab them. So that was that bundle there. So £2 each, £2 each. Still, just shows you still get bargains at the toy fairs. You hear people saying, "Oh, don't go to the toy fair. Everyone there knows what they're selling, and everything's expensive." You go there and you get bargains like that. It's well worth going. It's well worth the price of admission. And then from the same fella, this was a little bit more expensive. We've got a Dapol Cyberman from the 90s, possibly 80s. They made these for quite a long time. I don't collect these, but I've got a little collection of them. I pick them up here and there when I see them. And I didn't have a Cyberman, so I picked him up. There's a Cyberman. He's pretty cool. He's in nice shape. And all of this soft plastic that can go in recycling at your local supermarket. That's the Car Boot Collector green policy right there, demonstrated. But where does the deal get better, you may ask? You might be thinking, that seems like a steal. How could it possibly get better? So Callum bought a whole mound of figures from him. We pay up, you know, get it all sorted, and the guy goes, "Lads, these are for you," and he just had 2 sandwich bags full of weapons and bits and pieces. So most of what he had was unfortunately newer stuff, so it was all weapons for like Force Awakens era figures, but loads, absolutely loads of them. And I wasn't really that interested, and so we did divvy them out. Callum ended up having all the Star Wars weapons, and this was my little haul of the weapons. These are for the Cantina mail away figure, the 1990s Power of the Force one. That's the full set of weapons. There was 2 full sets, so we had 1 each. I don't have the figure, unfortunately, but worth having the bits for when I find one. A couple of odd bits there that just weren't Star Wars, so I thought I'd bring them on and see what they are. And then this is really odd, because I've never even seen any of these figures out and about, let alone owned any. I didn't know what these were off the bat, but these are both LJN Dune figures from the 80s. These are pretty sought after bits. The figures are hard to get, and the weapons are quite sought after. So we've got one of the rifles and one of the masks. So yeah, I don't really have any use for those, so I'm going to be moving them on. But yeah, a couple of Dune weapons. They're really nice. What I think I'm going to do is, because I say the guy gave us a bag each and we divvied them out, I think I'm going to move those on, and then I'm going to use that $1 to like pay for both of our entries to the next toy fair. I think that's only fair, because I don't know which one was in which bag. So it's only fair. A couple of Dune figures though. A couple of Dune accessories. Really nice. It's a shame. I mean, if I collected those, I'd be like, geez, because they're hard to get. But I don't collect them, unfortunately. Okay, we've only got a couple of bits left. Very quick. This was an odd one. A Takara Captain Harlock ship. Missing a few bits, but it's in quite nice condition. Never seen one of those before. That's quite a nice little find. Picked up these. I think I've looked at these at the Toy Fair before, possibly even a couple of times, but today was the day where I was inspired enough to be like, yeah, I'll grab those. So these are like bootleg or recast Starlight space figures done in solid cast metal. Like these sort of reptilian frog alien guys. I think all 4 of them are different, or possibly there's 2 different patterns. And these ones have got the packaging. They're made by a company called Motion Master Miniatures, and these are from the 1990s. So I'm quite a big fan of these sort of oddball space figures. And yeah, just a little bit odd. So they're not super old, they're from the 90s, sort of emulating the like retro 50s, 60s style. But I quite like them. They're pretty nifty. And then too, I've got the card back, so some space figures. I like those. Those have been going in the cabinet. I like them. And we've only got 2 things left, I think. Probably both of these are probably the best finds of the day, arguably. So this was one of the first things I picked up. I was like, jeez, I was really happy to find this. So this is a Robert Harp Wallace and Grommit figurine, limited edition. Grommit and Shaun the Sheep, a Christmas cracker. So these are a range of items which I have pondered about collecting a few times, and what puts me off is the price, because these are very sought after, expensive, and it's not really the sort of thing I ever see out and about. So that's the little cards for us, a little tent card. So these are resin figurines made by Robert Harrop from the Wallace and Grommit range. I remember being on holiday years ago, and there was like one of those sort of jewellery shops that stocks little figurines and things, and I was looking at these and thinking like, oh, they're expensive, do I want to spunk my money on them, like my holiday dollar that's like intended for like a few Star Wars figures? And I didn't get any, and now years later this very collectible, so expensive, and yeah, this one was just sat there at the Toy Fair for an absolute bargain price. I was like, have you got any more? He was like, no, just that one. And yeah, Robert Harrop, Wallace and Grommit figurine. It's not really one of the ones that I really... If it had been one that I want, the Cooker, one of the Wallaces, it might have sparked me to be like, yeah, I'll collect those. But it's just, I'm not a big fan of this figurine, like specifically. So I very likely won't be hanging on to this one. I found one or two here and there, but whenever I find them, it's always characters I'm not that bothered to own a figurine of. But they're sort of nostalgic, because I remember looking at them all in a cabinet in this, as I said, jewellery shop when I was a child. And yeah, there's not really much more to say really. Wallace Grommit hat figurine, that's just a great find. Not really something you expect to find at the Toy Fair, but he had a few bits of Wallace Grommit memorabilia, and that was the only one I wanted. It's a shame he didn't have more. If he had the cooker, I would have bought it and I would have kept it. If he had Wendelin, I would have kept it. I would have put it in the cabinet. But it was that one. So that was a nice find. And the final item I'm going to have to clear the decks for, because I don't want to get its residue all over everything, because one, it's a bit disgusting, and also I'm somewhat allergic to it. You might be thinking, well, why did you buy it then? But it had to be done. When you see the item, you'd be like, you know what, if I was allergic to that, I would still buy that as well. So let me show you. This is just immense. This is immense. It's dry, it's crusty, it's decaying, but it still exists. And you can read the tag for yourself there, I'll give you a second. The remains of an original Tarn mask from Space Precinct, a mere £5 or near offer. So yeah, this is an original screen used latex mask from Gerry Anderson's Space Precinct. There is a lot of props for this show that are about and out there, because there was a lot of stuff, there's a lot of background aliens and stuff. Unfortunately, this one, it's just this latex stuff, unless it's stored in the 100% perfect conditions, it just dries and crumbles and decays. And you can see in the bag here, it's just like turning to dust. Give it a few years and this will just be dust probably. But yeah, a Tarn mask. So these are like the aliens like Tookie that have got the eye in their forehead, the psychic ones. And yeah, it's just a shame, because this would have been blue in its day. It's obviously rotting and it's brown, unless it was unpainted and it's like a production made one but wasn't painted. But yeah, the guy told me, he said it's still got its cloth lining and obviously the latex outer, and it's got some of the fittings in there, like that's, I think, the nose that would go on your nose in the mask, like the prosthetic pieces. But obviously in the state it's in, if you handled it or took it out of the bag, it probably wouldn't last a few seconds. So yeah, a bit of a shame. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, to be honest, but I had to buy it. I absolutely love Space Precinct. It's been like a bit of a meme recently, because I started watching it and I was going on about it for a little bit, and then I forgot about it, and I saw it there and I was like, bloody hell, Space Precinct, I love it. I've got £5. Who would leave that behind, honestly? And to make it even better, to make it like even more better than it already is, the guy I bought it from, I don't know the fella's name, unfortunately. I know he is an official Gerry Anderson artist, but I was having a bit of a natter with him, and he told me that the recent Space Precinct box set that came out, the Blu-ray restoration release, the guy who I bought this from did the artwork for the poster that's included in the DVD, in the Blu-ray set. So I said to him, I was like, if I get that, because I'm going to get it soon, I will get it, the price is coming down, if I bring the poster along, would you sign it for me? And he was like, yeah, of course I would. So that's brilliant. He did say he had nothing to do with the production of the show. He didn't say how he obtained it. I did ask, and he was like, oh, I did some art for it, but I didn't work on the show, so I don't know how he obtained this mask. But yeah, there you go, a Tarn mask from Space Precinct in its decaying form. I have a minor allergy to latex, so it's not really the greatest item to have kicking around generating dust. So thankfully it is in this somewhat sealed bag. But yeah, bloody great item. Love it. What a find. So that's my haul today from the Toy Fair. Hope you enjoyed it. We've got a car boot sale haul coming up very soon. Because I also went to the car boot sale today. I'm going to do it separately though. I'm going to have another What's in the Box video coming up soon as well. And as I already alluded to earlier in the video, I've just bought shall we say, someone's lifetime collection of Gerry Anderson memorabilia. So I've got like 2, possibly 3 carloads of Gerry Anderson stuff coming my way soon. And I'm going to do some unboxing videos and sort of haul, you know, showing you what I got there. So if you're into that, stay tuned, subscribe, and you will see that coming up soon. So yeah, I'm going to show you this again. I'll probably show it a couple more times before the event occurs. But yeah, there you go, Sherborn Toy and Collector Fair. If you're in the southwest, worth checking out. I'm sure there'll be a fair few dealers there with some different bits and pieces. First event, worth supporting if it goes well. He said he'd do a few more, or do more. So yeah, I'd recommend checking it out if you're in the area. Don't get a lot of that stuff down here. Support it while it's here, or else it'll go. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you very much.